It's kind of interesting that within like a week, we got a movie called How to Make a Killing and a movie called Crime 101. Those kind of sound like they could be the same film, don't they? Like you could swap the titles? But anyway, I was curious about this because it is written and directed by John Patton Ford, and he made a movie in 2022 called Emily the Criminal. If you haven't seen that film, it stars Aubrey Plaza, and it was one of the most overlooked movies of that year. Not nearly enough people talked about it. It's a really solid crime thriller. So I wanted to see what he was going to do next, and I like Glenn Powell, so I was hoping this would be a good time. Saw it at an early mystery movie. Not going to be any spoilers here, but we have a guy whose mother was disowned by her extremely wealthy multi-billionaire family, and now he is living a more basic, simple life, but he would like to move up in the world. How do you do that? Well, if all of the rich family members end up dying, well, who gets the inheritance? You do. So maybe just give him a little push. Maybe help him out a little bit on that path towards dying, murdering his family members. They're just a bunch of snobby, douchey billionaires. They're not contributing to the world. What does it really matter, right? Let's go ahead and take them out. And so we have this exploration of wealth and the pursuit of wealth and societal expectations. I think Glenn Powell is really good in the lead role, playing this guy with a lot of charm who you can kind of enjoy watching as he is doing these terrible things. Also similar to No Other Choice, which had a limited release at the end of last year, and most people, including me, saw earlier this year. Somebody who is killing the competition. It's just in that case it was for a job. In this case it's just for money directly, and also they're your relatives. So kind of a critique of capitalism in that way, although not quite as strongly as No Other Choice was. It's more of just a critique of the pursuit of wealth itself, because you've got these people who have not been made good people by any means by the vast amount of money that they are hoarding. But it also doesn't treat Glenn Powell's character as this like noble Robin Hood who's going to take out the bad rich people and then use the money for good himself. It criticizes and punishes him throughout the movie for like how he kind of becomes corrupted as it goes, how he sinks further and further down because the more he gets, the more he wants. And it's about those societal expectations of what it is you're supposed to want, even as you get all of these things that should be very satisfying to you. It's that sunk cost fallacy and the feeling that he just has to keep going and has to get it all. And it's kind of a reflection on what really matters in life. Of course, money is important. To say that it doesn't buy happiness, I guess, is technically true. You can't go to the store and buy a bottle of happiness, but you can buy the things that give you happiness in whatever form those things come. And you can buy security and safety, just the knowledge that you have enough money to survive an illness or an injury in this fucking country where you have to pay thousands of dollars to ride in an ambulance. Fucking assholes. It's good to have that knowledge, have that security. It makes you happier. So it's not like, well, just stay poor and be happy about it. No, not that at all. But there is a threshold for how rich somebody should even want to be. And they've done studies about that where they've measured how happy people are versus the amount of money they earn. And there is a ceiling. There is a point where you have so much money that the additional money you earn after that isn't actually making you any happier and could, in fact, go the opposite direction and decrease your happiness. And yet there are so many people that I've never been able to understand who become more rich than the average person can even fathom, more rich than you could do anything with over generations, multiple lifetimes. You could spend it all and still be obscenely rich, and yet all they do is want more. They just sit on it. The money sits there, earns more money just by sitting there, and they don't like help people, they don't do anything meaningful with it, they don't try to like live lives and be good, normal people. You guys know all the folks I'm talking about. They just want more. And it's like, are you stupid? And it was entertaining watching Glenn Powell meet all of these members of his family who he has not had any connections with before and take them out in various ways. And some of these family members are played by Zach Woods, Topher Grace, Ed Harris. Jessica Henwick is a character who gets a very prominent role, so it was really nice seeing her. I really liked her contribution to the story. Great supporting cast, Margaret Qualley as this very strange woman who I'll talk a little bit more about later. So for the most part, it was entertaining. My theater was laughing quite a bit. They seemed to really be liking it. It didn't blow me away. I didn't like it as much as I hoped I would. I had a good time, but I don't really see myself revisiting it. There were a few things holding it back. It wasn't quite laugh out loud funny for me. I had some chuckles. I was having a fun time, but it wasn't like uproariously hilarious or anything. But one thing that didn't quite work for me is Margaret Qualley's character. I really liked her performance, but her character is just so odd and chaotic. Essentially, she'll come on screen. She's not really directly connected to the main plot for most of the movie. She'll just show up every 25 minutes, say some weird, enigmatic things to Glenn Powell with like this snarky, seductress attitude, and then walk out of the movie again for another 25 minutes before she comes back to do the same thing again many times throughout the film. And I just felt like I needed more direct characterization of her. I felt like I really wanted to know about her more as a real grounded person. She felt very over the top. And some of the rich people are, like, in their douchiness, but they still felt like, oh, I could imagine people that rich would be that douchey. She felt like not a real human being, to the point where at one point I was actually considering, is she even real? Is she in Glenn Powell's head? Like, I don't know why this would be that kind of movie, but the way she just comes on screen every now and then, says a couple things to him and only him, and then leaves, and the movie just carries on. It's starting to feel like she's a hallucination or something. Like, she's so weird. I can't grasp what's going on with her. I need more genuine characterization for how chaotic and how much she actually starts driving the story as it goes along later. And I never felt connected to her side of the story and her character. She was just too off-putting. Other than that, I was trying to think of why this felt a little bit held back for me, why I enjoyed it but didn't love it. And I feel like this premise was ripe for some of the things that No Other Choice did, where you actually get to see him like investigating these people, learning their habits, figuring out the proper way to kill them and be able to get away with it, see him go through these like elaborate schemes and trying and maybe fumbling over himself. But for the most part, what you usually get is him at the scene of the crime where he has decided he's going to do it with the poison or weapon or whatever for that circumstance that he's decided to use, and just kind of narrating, oh yeah, this is this kind of poison, it's gonna do this. And I just feel like there was so much potential fun to be had watching him cook up these schemes, seeing the planning, seeing longer execution of these, and having these like tense hitman sequences where he may or may not get away with it. And it kind of speed runs them because there's 7 of these family members he wants to kill. And so some of them may get more time than others, but a lot of them are very much just, yeah, oh yeah, I had a poison that I had access to and I put it in this thing and there you go. And so I just feel like there was a lot of potential that you could have had if this movie was longer, or if there were fewer people to kill, but instead it kind of rushes through it, and I just feel like it's not really as fun as it could have been, even though I had a mostly good time, and I recommend it if you want an original movie at the theater that is mostly going to be a crowd pleaser. I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to end, and was mostly entertained. 6 out of 10. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. This was all just my opinion, so if you liked it more, if you didn't like it, if you really liked Margaret Qualley's character, anything you want to talk about, down in the comments, let's do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more from me. Got more stuff coming soon. We got a couple more horror movies coming out this week. Horror has been really bad in February. Please stop that. Please turn it around. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, subscribe for more. Thank you so much. I hope to see you next time.